It's YouTube, baby. I'm not used to it. It doesn't do the pop-up anymore. It's like a little thing at the top that
Right?
says
It was
recording.
lightning
So
fast.
yeah, I'm not used to it. But oh, I wanna. We were talking about what booze you're drinking beforehand, and you're not drinking booze tonight. But give me your, because you're a whiskey boy.
Hmm.
So like, are you just mostly a dark liquor guy in general? Because when I mentioned vodka, you were just like, ooh. Do you do tequila at all?
No, like I'll drink that stuff if it's in a cocktail,
Yeah.
but whiskey is the only thing that I would drink on its own.
Not even like rum? Because I remember when you and Kyle were living together, you were okay with rum.
I was, but I think my tastes have just changed a lot since then.
Yeah,
But that's in like several different ways. Like there's just stuff that I didn't eat back then that I will now, and vice versa. And I think
I
the same
gotcha.
goes with drinking.
I gotcha.
Because I also used to despise IPAs, and now it's like the only beer that I would want to drink. So
You're not going out drinking Natty Light with the boys?
no,
Damn.
no natty lights with the boys.
Now, this is like the wimp, like this would be the only way that you'd probably ever catch me drinking something that's not, like I back in the day I would drink a shot of tequila with a little bit of a mixed like Jack and Coke, that type of thing. But the hard root beers are really tasty. Are you a
Mm.
fan of those at all? You're like, no, I don't have a vagina.
I'm not that uppity about it. I just do not enjoy them.
Yeah, because you're not a soda guy anyway. So that
I'm not
makes
a
sense.
soda guy. I don't really like carbonated drinks too much. Because I mean, you see how I burp just drinking water. You
That's
know,
that's a fact,
having
yeah.
having the carbonated drinks,
You'd be
I really do feel like I just am gonna throw up
yeah.
sometimes.
You'd be like that fucking kid in that one video where he drinks the whole Sprite or the seltzer and he like burps.
Well,
He's
what
like,
do I
yeah.
do? Yeah, yeah, basically. No, the so like for example, over the summer, Brielle and I went and visited some friends out of state, and we went out on a lake. And normally people drink seltzers and stuff like that out on the lake, but and I'm very much in the minority of liking these drinks. I understand if anyone listening is like, ew, that's disgusting. But there is a company called Mom Water, and like there'll be like four drinks in the case, two cans each or whatever, and they're named after moms, Karen and Beth and stuff like that. Um, but they're non-carbonated alcoholic drinks that are like exactly like seltzers without the fizz. And I like that more personally because I don't feel like I'm dying when I drink them, and I still get a tasty, fruity little drink.
Yeah, man. I've never had them with booze. Maybe that helps, but I fucking hate the seltzer water stuff
Hmm.
so much because there's been times
Like
where I'm like,
LaCroix and stuff. You don't do
yeah,
any of that?
fucking hate it. I was like, ooh, like I'm gonna get the Aldi brand LaCroix because I'm gonna be a fancy boy tonight. And I took one drink. I'm like, oh fuck this, and then I ended up giving it to my sister because I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah,
It's like unflavored soda, which is exactly what it is. It's
yeah.
terrible.
The only one that I really do enjoy is LaCroix brand. What do they call it? Pamplemousse. It's their grapefruit one.
Okay.
I don't know why they go with
Yeah, it's
the
a
the
terrible
French
name.
term, but but anyway, that one's really good. But other than that, I don't really fuck with that stuff either. I just drink plain old Wawa.
Yeah. I drink way too much soda and water. And I'm on a juice kick here lately too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like juice. I just don't ever like buy it.
Yeah.
Also, everyone is gonna think I'm just a fucking psychopath. I genuinely enjoy some cranberry juice.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I
I'm not,
realize it's pretty good for you too, in
yeah,
moderation, of course, because there's still a bunch of sugar and juice. But I fuck with some cranberry juice.
yeah, no, I mean it's good. I'll do you can actually buy it together. I've been doing that, but pineapple juice and orange juice. I do that in the morning and
Mm-hmm.
at night usually, and that's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be really good for sinus as I cough on here all the time. So like I don't think it's fucking doing a thing. But
Yeah, well, not everybody is a farmer and
yeah,
around
fair
dry
enough.
grain, so yeah. Um, but if I'm gonna drink, if it's like a hot summer day, I'm gonna do the mom water probably if everyone's doing seltzers, or it's just gonna be an IPA or some whiskey, and that's pretty much where I draw the line anymore.
I saw a thing on Instagram. I was gonna send it to you because I know you're an IPA boy, but I just was like, I'm not going to. But it's like your one friend who's trying to tell you that the bathwater, cranberry, like flat tire IPA is really good. He's like, this is like this kid like, "Mm, mm."
Yeah. I don't do the flavored stuff. And I see a lot of people give IPA drinkers flack, but I think it's just as bad with the stouts. Like the
Probably, yeah.
chocolate oatmeal peanut butter stout. It's like, bro, that's disgusting. I
I
don't
mean,
want anything to do with that.
it's like you have to take a knife and fork and cut it a little bit before you can actually drink it.
Yeah,
Like,
well, there's one that's like it's like, well, this is the breakfast stout because it tastes like a fucking McGriddle. It's like, well, I don't want that.
it's like if I wanted a McGriddle, I would just have a
Yes,
McGriddle.
I absolutely cannot stand drinks that taste like solid foods. I don't
Yeah.
want it. Rum
Yeah.
shata, tastes like a cinnamon roll. I don't care. I don't want that.
Every time I think of rum chata, I always think of my buddy, a picture of my buddy Alex. I've told you about this, didn't I?
Maybe.
So, when Liz and him were dating, they showed me a picture on her phone, and you don't see Alex's face, but he's just naked with just the rum chata covering his junk.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, that's just kind of like been burned in my brain, but
How could
and the
it not
background of
be?
my phone. And but no, speaking of drinks that taste like things though, have you seen that Coke Zero Oreo drink?
I've seen advertisements. I've not tried it.
Okay.
I
So
won't
there
try it.
so there's I'd be really curious with the way you burp because you'll hear my reasoning. But I tried the Oreos that taste like Coke Zero and those are weird. And then
I
the
haven't been
Coke
able to
Zero
find them. Those I do want to try.
dude, I mean, they've been at like the Walmart in Shelbyville. That's where like mom got them for
Mm.
Dom when he was over. So I was like, well, I'll give some a try. I'm like, these are weird. I don't
But
know about
you
these.
can't stop eating them.
But the Coke Zero one, I got it and I was like, I'm gonna fucking try it. Might as well. And so I'm like taking a drink. I'm like, dude, this is so fucking good. Like this is delicious. Like I love this. I'm gonna like start getting 12 packs of this because this is so good. I get about halfway done and I like while I'm drinking it though, I'm having the loudest, most gnarliest burps. I'm like, this is impressive, but it tastes so good. And then I get about halfway through and I'm like, I'm only halfway through. I don't want this anymore. It was just very much just like I'm like those little baby cans would be perfect.
Hmm.
Anything more, I'm just like, no, I can't.
Yeah. Those baby cans really are perfect. Like that's as much soda as like I can drink if I like really need a quick caffeine hit or something, like that's what I'll go to.
See, that's the exact opposite. Mine's like about the perfect size for me is like the 42 ouncer that you can get, you know?
The the Parks and Rec child size.
Yeah, exactly. That's like if I'm a little thirsty, not if I
Right.
have a meal.
Yeah. My problem is just stopping drinking coffee.
Yeah.
'Cause like, I mean, it'll be like 3 p.m. and I'm like, I'd have another one, you know? But
Hmm.
you really shouldn't at that point. It should
Yeah.
just be water.
Yep. Well, would you switch to decaf ever? Or you're like, no,
Uh,
rather die.
No, I don't feel that strongly about it. It's just like, I don't know, if I'm gonna drink it, I might as well let it be doing something to me, you know?
I mean, well, because I bring that up just because like I don't know what the it might be the caffeine that does a lot of it, but like I'll read stuff online about how just regular coffee will have like it's not just the caffeine, but I don't know if there's stuff that's in the caffeine that adds to it or whatever, but it does a lot of stuff that like longevity for your life, that type of stuff. So it's like,
Hmm.
you know, even a regular decaf is still better than the fucking soda I'm drinking.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Also, at this point, I just feel real icky if I have a soda. Like, let's say, Brielle and I are going on a trip somewhere and we go get some fast food, go to McDonald's or whatever. Um, she loves both McDonald's Sprite and Coke because, you know, there's
Hmm.
their cocaine magic in it. So I'll just get whichever one she doesn't get so that she can enjoy both. I'll have like maybe a sip of each just to get that a little taste of it, but then I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I don't want any more of this. I'm gonna just feel like shit after eating fast food and then drinking that.
Man, like Sprite's like the worst choice though. Like since you don't drink soda ever, like that's the worst possible one that I could think of. Like I remember I took like close to a year off of soda, but me and Grandpa were out working and he was taking trucks into the elevator and they have drinks in the elevator and he'd always go grab one. So he grabbed me and him both Sprite because Sprite was his favorite. And so I'm like, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm not drinking soda right now, Grandpa. So I drank it and like it like just fucking tore my throat up. Like I'm like, this is the
Hmm.
worst possible choice out of every soda imaginable.
And I know we've talked about it before, but Dr. Pepper does me that way too.
Really.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
See, it's because he's got a doctorate. You got to start with a pib and work your way up.
I'll fucking die before I drink a pib.
You're like, I'm not seeing that fucking idiot. It's gotta
He
be a
has to
doctor.
have a doctorate.
It's like, so you would rather see Dr. Thunder.
Yes, absolutely. I used to drink that all the time. Mountain Dew, I've said that before too, is like if I'm gonna drink a soda, it's 100% Mountain
Yeah.
Dew.
Would
Love
you,
that shit.
ooh, this is something for the listeners too. Let's rate your Mountain Dew, like Mountain Dews. How would you categorize them?
Plain old Dew is number one.
Okay.
Then Baja Blast,
Ooh.
and then probably Live Wire, which is the orange one.
Mm-hmm.
Then Code Red,
Oof. Controversial.
and then like the purple and blue ones I really haven't had, so I don't know
I
about those.
I had him like because they have like multiple blue ones, and
Oh,
I
okay.
had the 4th of July American flavored one, and that's the only blue one I've had. But we'll just do like the main four that we,
Hmm.
you know. And so for me, Code Red number one, Livewire two, regular would be number three, and then Baja Blast is last.
Okay.
Just is never into
Man,
the
we're almost
Baja
opposites
Blast.
there.
I know, dude.
Well, it's
I
just one of those
wish.
things where like if I'm going to Taco Bell, because it used to be
Hmm.
exclusive, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
well, I don't have it that often, so I'll just get one here, and then it ended up
yeah.
being pretty good.
Yeah, no, I get that. It makes me mad. So there's a Code Red Zero, but it's like a fucking thing that you can only get in like certain locations. And this YouTuber or Instagrammer that I will watch his videos, he'll have a Code Red Mountain Dew Zero. I'm like, I want that so bad. I
You
mean, that'd
just
be
gotta
so
find
good.
you a store that has them and buy 6 cases.
Yeah, but dude, the problem now, soda's so fucking expensive. Like stupid levels.
Hmm.
So I was at Dollar General and I was like, oh, there's a thing of Dr. Pepper Zero, no price tag. It's probably $5. I'll splurge tonight. I get up there, it was $9. I was just like, I was like, wait, what? My whole thing is just the soda is 8.52. I was like, I just wanted to put stuff up. I was just like, no,
Hmm.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, lady making probably $8 an hour.
You just bought her 1 hour
Yeah.
shift. So here's a question then. So, when you're going through your I'm trying to be healthy and cut some weight, does the price of soda ever motivate?
So with the soda, since it's diet soda, you're not like like I'm not, and unless I'm try at the point where I'm like I'm going to try out for Mr. Olympia, I don't really think I need to be too worried about it
Hmm.
because it's like mostly going to be water retention as far as like everything I've read, and it's also like an elite level water retention, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah,
So
but
what's in it then? What's in a diet soda?
it's like sodium, like there's sodium stuff like related stuff and like random acids that make it taste good.
Gotcha.
And sweeteners that, are negligible calories to the point where they can put zero on the side.
Hmm. Okay. Boy, that was quite the YouTube.
Yeah. Let us know down below though, guys. Favorite booze, favorite soda, which do you like? Do you mix them? Are you like, yeah, I like lemonade and vodka. That's my drink of choice.
First time I got drunk was tequila and Mountain Dew. It was terrible.
That sounds terrible.
Yep.
I I've never had tequila mixed in anything except for, a margarita. But other than that, it's just shot.
I like me a margarita.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I like tacos, so maybe we should go get Mexican sometime.
Maybe. Dude, on my street over here, there's two great spots. So
Nice. We'll just have to you get a pitcher of margaritas at both places. I get just a plate of tacos at both places.
I have a liquid lunch.
But yeah, let us know down below. Favorite booze, all that stuff. And your first drink, let us know that.
Hmm.
Mine was Old Monk rum that I drank half a bottle of.
We all make choices.
Yep. I was like, I walked into the liquor store that was close to my apartment, and I was like, this one's cheap, which is always a good way of doing it. I was like, with lots of alcohol content. Perfect.
How'd you feel after that?
I mean, not good. But it is what it is.
Hey, I like Snap shirt, by the way. I've
Thanks,
got one
Dan.
of those too.
They're a they're a very good band. You guys should see if they're touring because I think they got a show coming up
I
and
feel
a
like
new
they do
music
a
coming out.
couple, a couple
Yeah.
shows a month. All right, man, let's do this thing.
Let's do the football first. Unless you
Oh
want to do
yeah,
that
yeah,
another
yeah.
thing.
No, that's all right. Um, Tonight is the Dolphins and the Rams.
The Rams are gonna take it.
Okay,
What do you think?
probably
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Oh shit. Dolphins good this year?
Eh, they're like okay.
Hmm.
I just don't really root for the Rams after they left here, and it's
Yeah.
nothing on any of the players. It's
Yeah.
just is what it is.
I getcha. All right. Now it's time to start. What's up, everybody? It's Casey with the Rules Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Langston Graham to my General Beckman. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy? R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Well, I'm doing all right, but that one is beyond me.
Now you know that one. General Beckman, Diane Beckman. She could be like, oh, Casey, get Chuck from the helicopter.
Oh, okay.
And then
Really?
Langston Graham was the CIA, Sarah's handler, and then he got blown up.
Yeah. Boy, that it's been a while since
It's been
I've thought of those characters.
Man, I tried to rewatch that show, and I still need like it's still good, but it's like the camera work is still very early 2000s.
Hmm.
Like it's I'm like, oof, guys, you should have worked on that a little bit better.
Yeah. But damn, does it have charm.
Oh, it does. But yeah, Tony Todd passed away, which is too bad. He was Candyman. Don't know if you've ever seen the Candyman movies.
I haven't. I'm familiar.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't like it because it's not about a nice man giving candy. It's about a killer.
Ah, horror movies then, huh?
Yes. Yeah. It's one of those ones that like freaks Brie out if I say Candyman too much. She does not like that at all. And so I whisper it to her while she's sleeping.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right.
I'm a good boyfriend.
Well, pretty terrible news week.
Yeah.
I had absolutely nothing. So, Casey, take it away, my friend.
The little bit that you were looking up before we started, nothing good.
Nah, it was bullshit.
All right. Okie dokie. So you were, if I remember correctly, a Mass Effect fan until probably what, the end and of the third game, because that's when everyone seemed to kind of jump ship on that
Yeah, the
series.
one that came out after that was called Andromeda. I was not a fan.
I gotcha. Well, Amazon and BioWare are working together on a Mass Effect TV series. Um, so are you excited about that? Like it seems weird because it's like the big thing about Mass Effect that I remember is like you got a lot of free choices and making a
Hmm.
TV series on a show or on a game that was mostly free choice, it's doesn't really work.
Well, I think a lot of games will have a just like a default, this is what would happen. So I'm
Hmm.
sure that it'll be something like that. I want to
Yeah.
say yes because boy, I really did love 1 through 3. But if it's going to be like Halo, where it's not anything like the game at all, then I will quickly forget it ever exists.
Yeah. Well, the one plus side though is like you don't have like at least in my opinion, and you can correct me on this, you don't have the iconic main character in Mass Effect like you do in Halo. So
You
that kind
kind
of
of do
helps.
though.
Really?
Yeah, Commander Shepard, like yeah, you can choose uh male or female and kind of choose what they look like, but it's one of those where you got like 3 choices, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
So it's mostly the voice that's iconic, like Master Chief.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of torn after talking about it for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, odds are since it's an Amazon show, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If 2 years from now we get the news and it's like, oh yeah, it's been dropped, it's never gonna get made, I'd be like, oh, I'm not surprised at all. So I think
Hmm.
that's what's gonna happen to Warhammer. But
Yeah, but I do want both to get made.
yeah.
Like I like BioWare because of how much entertainment those games brought me over the years and some of their other games. So I want them to be successful. It's just like we know how these things go,
Hmm.
and it's not for the fans.
Now here's a question. Just speaking of games from that era, would you want a Fable TV series or movie?
If
Or
yes,
okay, I didn't know if that'd be too close to home or not.
no, it is, but I think that one you can follow the game way more closely than you could Mass Effect or
Yeah.
Halo. Um, because yeah, there's choices, but it's very clearly like a good and evil
Hmm.
playthrough. So I think
Yeah, I
if they
mean,
just went with the good playthrough, or I think it'd be really fucking cool if they went with the evil one. They wouldn't do that, but if they went with the good one, they could totally do it.
and you probably just want to see the main villain live action because I bet the hell would look cool as shit.
Yeah, Jack of Blades, as discussed on this show, he's the coolest video game villain of all time for me. So yeah, I'd love to see that.
But the next bit of news, Colin Farrell has said he's got a few scenes, like I think he said 4 or 5, in the Batman 2, and he's attached to star in the third film. So I don't know if it's just kind of like that starring role where it's with Colin Farrell type of thing, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, it should be neat. People have been loving the Penguin series, so that's cool.
I think Sunday was the finale, so now I need to sit down and binge it.
I gotcha. I'm interested, but I'm still annoyed that it's like, what the hell's Batman doing?
Hmm. Maybe they
But
explain it.
yeah, there's like, he's on vacation. He
He's
heard
chasing
cat.
after Catwoman.
Yeah, he's like, he heard Catwoman's in Bloodhaven. He's going over there because can you blame him?
I can't.
Nope. But yeah, so I mean, it should be interesting. It's nice that he's not. I mean, it's nice that he's not going to be the focal point. I was thinking today, and since we don't have a lot of news, I've only got one thing left to talk about after this. I was going to bring it up. I think the Batman series really missed the mark not having Harvey Dent just casted. Don't have to use him as Two-Face in the first movie or in the second movie, have him in the third movie or whatever, but just have that relationship so when he does turn, it's a much bigger deal than like when Aaron Eckhart just got his face burnt. You know, like I mean, they
Hmm.
did a great job of building him up in the Dark Knight, but it's like, man, had they just been building up that relationship like they tried to do with Billy D that just never panned out, it would have been great.
Yeah, they really did do a damn good job with him in Dark Knight.
Yeah. But it's just like think about how much better it could have been had it been like in the comics where they were like really good friends.
Hmm.
You know, like or like not so much the comics, but the Batman the animated series where like they were, good buddies in school and stuff. And like there's rumors of Tommy Elliott in the next Batman movie or the Batman movie. So it's like it'd be neat if they did like the three of them were all buddies in school or whatever. And you
Yeah,
can be like, introduce them that way. And there's talks like the Court of Owls for the third movie. So it's like, yeah, we guess we won't be able to get, him at all in this universe because I think they're only doing three, but still, it'd be neat.
yeah. I just hope that they do Talons and do them like the comic version because that costume's fucking sick.
I have a feeling they'll like if they do the Court of Owls, they'll have talons, but they won't be like the zombified things at
Yeah,
all. But
yeah. It'll be a disappointment.
yeah. Oh, and then also on the Batman news, this is just kind of a funny thing. What are the odds, really quick, that you and me could get like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk to be like a sponsor for the podcast? Like, just what are the
I
odds?
I think a high
Okay, well,
odds.
we need to try to get it. Pull your comic book shop strings and get them
Mm,
because Warner Brothers is making 10 tumblers from the Dark Knight that, up for people to buy. It's not street legal, but it's going to be $3 million. So we both need one, I think. So we just got to get that. Got to talk to our old pals Jeff and Elon and see if they want to sponsor us 3 million apiece, and
yeah, I
we'll
mean,
promote Amazon for them
yeah.
and Tesla.
Imagine that with the comic headquarters logo on the side sitting out front of the shop, right?
Yeah, and for me, I'll put the Morse Family Farm sticker on the side.
Hey, at least you got someplace you can drive it.
Yeah, if I'd do that, and I don't know. Hey guys, let us know. We'll start a GoFundMe. You guys give us some money, and we'll both buy that, and we'll shoot any type of content you want, any type
Yeah.
inside the Tumblr.
See? Just a cool 6 mil.
Yep, I know you guys are good for it. Okay, so the last bit of news, Simon Kinberg, the co-creator of Star Wars Rebels, has signed a new contract to produce a new Star Wars trilogy. It's gonna be episodes 10 through 12.
Really
Hmm. And
interesting.
it's gonna be focused on, I mean, like I think Rey Skywalker is gonna be one of the main thing because it's the main trilogies are supposed to be focused on the Skywalkers, and she's the only fucking one left, even though she's not really one. So, yeah.
If only they hadn't killed Luke so we could have seen Luke's new Jedi Academy, or if they would have kept Kylo around so that Kylo and Rey together could open up a new Jedi Academy. Wouldn't that have been neato burrito?
It'd been really cool if they would have had like the twins, like in the extended universe, instead of what they did.
Yeah.
But whatever. I hope this is just it's just like, hey, the Empire's back again. It's like
Oh my
how?
gosh.
They just are.
If they do A New Hope a third time.
An even newer hope. But no,
Gosh.
I think it should be cool. It's like it'll be nice to have one competent voice
Hmm.
doing the whole thing. And I think that's the way stuff looked and sounded with the other trilogy. It didn't seem like it had that one voice that was, it had like 50 different cooks in the kitchen, and everyone knows too many cooks will spoil the broth. And so, yeah, I think that this could be good. If
Well,
I was a Star Wars fan, I'd be hyped. So, if you're a Star Wars fan, let me know what you think, Jake.
I'm sure Preston and Dan will both chime in. I think Kinberg producing is good, but also, fuck, what's his name? He's in charge of all
Filoni.
Star Wars. Yes, Dave Filoni. I think him just being in charge of Star Wars, those are two pretty good heads at the ship there, you know?
Yeah. Now, have you ever seen an interview with the dude that did the voice of Starkiller? And he then
Yeah,
now does like a lot of that dude needs to just be involved with everything too Star Wars related, because that guy is right up there with Dave Filoni as far as just knowing his stuff and being just the biggest fucking nerd. Like it's
yeah.
one of those things where I enjoy his interviews because it's like, dude,
Isn't
you
it
are,
Sam something?
I don't know, but it'll just pop up on my YouTube every once in a while. I'm like, this guy is such a nerd. He's geeking out so hard. This is awesome.
Yeah, Sam Witwer. He did Star Killer. He also did Darth Maul and the
Yep.
animated stuff too. Yeah, he is a big old Star Wars fan.
Yeah. And like I remember what, but he said something that stumped Dave on stuff, like and then that Dave then had to change what he was doing because this dude was right.
Yeah,
It's like that type of thing. And I'm like, he's like, that's one of my proudest moments.
as it should be, man. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't be proud of that?
But that's the news. So what'd you read this week, man? Probably a
Before
lot.
that,
Oh,
before that, I forgot to read our YouTube comment.
oh,
It comes from our friend Gerblaw. He says, I don't have four actual presidents in comic stories that I enjoyed, but I went president adjacent. I hope that's okay. It is
I'll
okay.
allow it.
Number one, and Savage Dragon, the SOS, got invited to the White House by Bill Clinton. While they were there, Slick Willie tried to thank Super Patriot for his service, and Super Patriot proceeded to verbally rip President Clinton a new anus. Number two, I'm sure you both remember when Lex Luthor was president. Indeed. Once in an Outsiders comic, Joker kidnapped him, looking for the nuclear weapons he bought from a previous president. While he was torturing him, Lex mumbled something, and when Joker leaned in for a closer listen, Lex said, does it bother you that Batman likes Catwoman better? And follows up with a joke about how Batman will never actually take him to prom. Three, if you ever get the chance, there was a Sandman story about a kid named Prez who wanted to be president and became president and was a good guy and did good things. I liked it's extremely wholesome, but I walked away with the belief uh, that it could only happen in a work of fiction.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
haven't,
say that's how you know that one's fiction.
yeah, I know, right? Because they're not 500 years old. I'm not to that part in Sandman yet, but there was also that Prez series around the New 52, I think, that I've heard is pretty good. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It sounds familiar, but a lot of those New 52 random books just were kind of a blur because they would last like 3 issues and then they'd move on to the next thing.
Yeah. I think it was less than 12, and it might have been at the end of the New 52, but anyway. And then number 4, in the first Tick live action show, they saved Jimmy Carter from the Red Scare. And then the quote, "Men in wrestling outfits, help." I love that Tick live action show. It was hilarious.
Did you watch the newer one that came out like a
Mm-mm.
couple years ago? I
Nah.
I know Nick did and he liked it, but I didn't like the guy that got to play Arthur. He really annoys me, so I never watched it.
For me, it was just like, oh, it's not Patrick Warburton,
Yeah,
so I don't really want to watch it.
yeah.
But anyway, thanks, Nick. We appreciate it. What I read this week, Absolute Superman, Batman 154, X Factor number 4, Public Domain number 10, Saga number 70, Plastic Man No More number 3, Batgirl number 1, JSA number 1, The Witcher Corvo Bianco number 5, and the Green Annual 2024 Annual.
All right, I think I have one more than you. Hold on one sec.
Okay, he drinks all that juice so he doesn't cough.
I know it just doesn't friggin' work. Um, so I read I Hate Fairyland issue 17, Shazam issue 17, Night Watcher issue 3, Batman 154, Batgirl number 1, X Factor number 4, JSA number 1, Plastic Man No More book 3, Public Domain issue 10, Saga chapter 70, and Absolute Superman number 1.
Lots out this week.
Right? And I'll be honest. I'm gonna say this is a little controversial, maybe. They were all like at best like pretty good, but nothing really knocked my socks off this week. What about you?
One book knocked my socks off.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with I Hate Fairyland, issue 17, and this is by Scotty Young and Brett Bean on the art. It starts with a story that I think Jake would be like, I would read this. It's this swordsman's son and the king's daughter, and they kind of like fell in love at first sight. And then the king's like, you can't date my daughter. You're just not worth it. So he goes and proves himself. He does all this cool shit, going around, and then finally he's worthy, and then Gert kills him. It's like all the build up. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I could see Jake being really into that story. Gert
That's
ruined it.
hilarious.
But then like all the people that she's killed are coming back to Fairyland are gonna, you know, cause a ruckus, and so she's got to get this team together, and it ends with a Dorothy-like person that she's gonna have to go recruit. So, it's fun. It's silly. It felt very short though. So I'm gonna probably go 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10.
All right. Green Arrow 2024 Annual number 1 by Joshua Williamson, Sean Izaakse, and Amanke Noelpen. Um, it was good. It was like set in the future where they're on the island and Ollie's kind of older and he's very clearly babysitting like the kids of his kids, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, and they all want a story. So he just talks or goes through a couple of stories from the past on him trying to catch this villain called the Firestarter. And they're like, "You caught him, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, totally." It's like, "Nuh-uh, we can tell you're lying." He's like, "All right, fine, I haven't caught him. I never could. I could never prove that like, I knew it's one of these three guys, and I could never prove who it was." And anyway, throughout the book, Ollie comes to the realization that it was all three of them and not just one of them. And the kids help him bring them all down, which was cool. And then just a really like final, the end. Thank you for
Yeah.
reading my run. And man, what a run it was. I really like Williamson's Green Arrow run. I think it's up there with Judd Winnick and I'll say even Kevin Smith. Very good stuff. So I'm gonna give this one a 9. It was really, really good. Um, we'll see how the next guy handles it.
Right on, man. Alrighty. So wait, would Williamson be on your Mount Rushmore now of Green Arrow creators?
Yeah, for sure. For
Right on.
sure.
So Shazam 17 by Josie Campbell
It
and
would be those
Dan.
three in Mike Grell, I think. Just as
Okay.
since you said Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. No, I get you. And then Dan McDade on the art. And this is pretty good. We get, kind of what we find out what the commander's power, like where it's coming from in this one. You get to see old I don't know if he's still Wonder Woman's brother, but the guy that makes all the weapons for the gods.
Ah, Hephaestus.
Yeah, Hephaestus the Molestus. And
That's not his name.
oh, okay. But then Mary does some cool stuff, and yeah, it's good. Then we also get a backup Darby Allin story. Fuck, I
Who?
don't care. Yeah, exactly. Um,
You know the Snoop Dogg clip? You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about? Who?
yeah. He's a guy that they were like, I like I like this kid. He works at Hot Topic. Now he's got a job at AEW Wrestling because he falls down a bunch. I'm not a fan. But I was a fan of this. I'm gonna probably go with another 8 for this one. It was good. It wasn't anything. I mean, it's nothing like I'm like you need to be reading this, but it's like, you're missing out, bud.
They did I should have sent one to you. I didn't think about it at the time, but they did like a little AEW free book that might just be all those like because they do those
Yeah,
random backups in all the DC
yeah,
stuff this month. But I was just like, huh, I'm not gonna read any of them, but
yeah.
that's
No,
something.
I wasn't gonna read it either. I have not read a single one of these, and I mean, I don't like Darby, but I liked Swerve. But I'm just like not gonna. I don't have a lot. Like I have a lot of free time right now, or not like right now, but when I was looking at that, and I'm like, I would rather just sit on my couch and stare at the ceiling.
Oh, it's funny. All right. The Witcher Corvo Bianco, number 5, by Bartosz Stybor and Corrado Mastintiono. Um, I'm glad this miniseries is over. This one was not one of the good ones, which is such a bummer because I was so excited to see Geralt, uh, after the events of The Witcher 3, but I don't know. I feel like it's always a coin toss on whether or not it's good or not. This one just wasn't. So, probably give this issue a 5 and the series overall maybe like a 6.5.
I gotcha. All right, so another disappointment. Night Watcher. This is issue number 3, and this is by Juniba with Pharaoh Pay on the art. And this is like set up like a true crime documentary, and they talk about this stuff, and we don't get a lot more stuff with Night Watcher. It's mostly this character, and I was really left going like I don't really care too much about this. I would have liked more Night Watcher, more Janeka stuff because I don't think this is like the full like this is not like a ongoing. This is like a mini.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the second issue, it explained Night Watcher. Should have been the first issue. I don't know why comic book people do this now. And then the first issue is like fine. This one is just like this is filler in like a 6 issue series. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna go probably 5.5. It's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Your editor needs to be better.
I think I've just got our large stack of Mewtwo's.
Same. What order do you want to do these in, man?
Oh, I guess we'll just do them how they're sitting. I've got Absolute Superman, Batman, X Factor, Public Domain, Saga, Plastic Man, Batgirl, JSA. So, Absolute Superman #1 by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. So, dude, your expectations were extremely low for this one. Were those met?
Barely. I mean, it wasn't good. I didn't like it. Did you like it? Like, if I was being honest, did you? What'd you think? Because
Not
it just felt like
really.
a chore reading.
Yeah, not really. Art's incredible. Like we knew Rafa Sandoval was a good artist. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just like Krypton stuff, explaining like their class system. And I don't know. I just don't I don't know what I wanted out of this book, but after reading it, I realized it wasn't this.
Well, it's like my whole thing with this whole absolute universe shit, and I think Kelly Thompson got it right. And maybe that's where I just differ with everyone else, but it's just like it should be Dark's it because this is an alternate universe of the main universe. So it should be like, oh, Bruce Wayne's parents never got shot.
Hmm.
Or something like that. And then like with Absolute Superman, it should be like, oh, he didn't get raised by Mom and Pa Kent. It shouldn't be like, oh no, we're completely changing the character in every which way we want, however we can. Bruce Wayne's no longer a villain. It's like all these little things that they do. It just doesn't like with the Wonder Woman one. It's like, oh no, she just got the Amazons aren't there and she's raised in hell. That's like the she still feels like Wonder Woman. This doesn't feel like Superman. The Batman one doesn't feel like Batman. So yeah, and at $5, it needed to be a way better book than this.
Yeah. It's just like really we get like 4 pages of Superman,
Yeah.
you know? And it's like I don't give a fuck about the military stuff.
Yep.
And I don't give a fuck about Krypton that's just gonna explode here in a minute.
Hmm.
And that's what most of this is.
Yeah. No, 100%, dude.
So I don't know. I mean, if issue 2 comes out and it's a week like last week where there's not shit, sure, I'll try
Yeah.
one more issue. But yeah, I don't know, man. This one just didn't do it for me. So I'm probably at like a 4.5.
That's actually exactly where I was thinking with it. It just, like I said, doesn't feel like Superman, so it kind of misses the point there. And then what we were given, like, could have been a really cool story, but they bogged it down with too much Krypton crap. Like the stuff where he's like trying to take care of these people, that could have been cool, but they just were like, no, I think this Krypton stuff is way more interesting. And then like his powers are different, which again is dumb because it's like that doesn't make any sense with the whole premise of all of this shit. So yeah, like I said, I'm probably at a 4.5 because it just doesn't do it for me.
Which sucks because we finally have Jason Aaron at DC, right?
Yeah.
And the other stuff that he's done, I've liked, and I
Hmm.
want to read his stuff, but yeah, I guess you're just not gonna like everything, I guess, is what
Yeah.
it comes down to. So
Yeah. And we're not the target audience. I'll say that. This is more new
true.
reader related. Did it sell really well?
Yes, all 3 first issues sold out.
Nice.
And
I know what you mean, but I just like to think that you're like, I bought 3 issues.
no, uh, but I think it is doing its job because I have like a handful of new polls just for absolute stuff, and guys that have been shopping with me for a year or less, or that don't read DC at all, starting with this stuff, and they like it.
Good.
So good for them. I hope that it
Hmm.
opens up the doors of the DC universe to them.
I like to think that they'll start reading the Batman book and like, Where's the beef?
Why is he rich?
Yeah, this is weird. This is stupid. Where's his battle axe? All right. Speaking of Batman, Batman 154 by Chip Zdarsky and art by Carmine de Giandomenico. What'd you think, man?
Now see this I liked quite a bit.
I was into it up until about the last couple pages, but I'm like, I'm open to seeing where it goes.
Yeah, like we'll get to that. But
Yeah.
I do have a question.
hmm
I don't know who Commander Star is. So is he a Chip character that I
Chip, as far as I know, Chip character that popped up last issue.
okay. Which I did read last issue, but I just didn't know if it was like from an arc or two ago when I wasn't reading it.
Yeah, that's like I
So
said,
we
yeah,
don't know who he is.
not yet.
Okay.
I have a
Um,
theory because they've mentioned a brother throughout, and I'm wondering if this is if it's gonna be remember in because like Chip really likes doing stuff that's pulling doing random pulls, and I'm like really thinking it could be oh Bruce's brother that was in the Court of Owls that might not have been his brother but could have been his
mhm.
brother. I think it could be oh March Lincoln March I think is his name.
Yeah, yeah, that was him.
That's my theory. That's just in my head, but there's like nothing to back it. But I'm like, I think this could be
You heard it here first, folks.
it.
Well, he was kind of a big deal in the talent stuff, right? Like he was a big old boy.
Yeah, and
All the
then
beef was on him.
yeah, well, he was the same side. He was like he basically like I mean, partially because Capullo was drawing him, but he just looked exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. But no, I like the stuff like with Leslie. It's always nice to see Leslie Tompkins. Um, I like Batman being at the crime scene and Harvey and Gordon's weird relationship with the Gotham City Police Department. Uh, yeah, I think the Vandal Savage thing is weird still.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, otherwise, like art was pretty cool. And I just kind of, I don't know, it's nice to be enjoying Batman again.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, you wanted to bring up that thing at the end. My thought on it is like, you know, we're getting into spoiler territory here, but so Gordon's got his gun pointed at Batman. It's clear he's got like a shaky voice, so he's not himself, right?
hmm
Batman's like, "You dare point it at me." It's like, dude, come on. Like you should be picking up that something's amiss here.
hmm
So why'd you have to fucking just cave in his face, right?
Right.
I mean,
See
he
that.
absolutely decked the fuck out of Jim.
So I didn't pick up on. I'm just like as I'm flipping through again. I'm gonna bring this up. So I have a feeling there's something in the air. Like maybe it's something Riddler related because you
hmm
got all these protesters that are acting a damn fool that
hmm
Batman, fights. And then you have this whole Jim Gordon getting in a fight and, you know, maybe being the one that kills the mayor. And then he's got his gun drawn on Batman. And then Batman punches him. And like, I didn't notice this really. As he's looking at his fist, like, what the fuck did I just do? I just fucking caved in my friend's face,
Oh yeah, yeah,
you
you're right.
know?
You're
So
right.
might be something Riddler related. Maybe you and me just put those puzzle pieces together of old Edward Nygma. He's listening to
Yeah.
this, being like, "How am I listening to this? I'm a fictional character."
Foiled again by the Two Worlds podcast. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the end isn't going to bother me too much. Clearly, there's something going on,
hmm
and we'll get the answers to that. The rest of it, though, I'm just, compared to the fucking failsafe stuff, I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty cool Batman story.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, it's nice that it's not a end of the world story too. I get
Yes.
so tired of that.
Yeah, same. So I think I'm at like an 8.
I'm gonna go 8.5 probably. I like the art a whole lot.
Yeah. All right. X Factor number 4. It was by Mark Russell and art by Bob Quinn. Uh, kind of like the rest of it, man. It's like a bit of a one shot, really, just
Hmm.
focused on two characters. And then, the stuff the team is doing on their mission is sort of like whatever. But I think you read a Mark Russell story for the character moments. So
Yeah.
I think those
Like
shown here.
like oh, Pyro with his tattoo getting having to be removed, and that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then my favorite, my dialogue of the week. Havoc's talking to the granny, and he goes, "Granny, I want you to sit this one out too. It's too dangerous." She goes, "I welcome death." It's like, I appreciate the positive attitude, but we're going deep beneath the surface of the earth. So what if we get buried down there and you can't die? She's like, "Oh, I had considered that."
Havoc is such a good guy,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, he just cannot catch a break in this series.
Yep. Man, he's got it. Like this isn't one that I put on the thing, but terrible costume.
Yeah, not great. I also got a pretty good chuckle out of where was it? Okay. Save it, Wintergeist. And Pyro's like, Wintergeist? I'd kill to have a code name like that. And then they're still talking, and in the background, he's like, you think I can have it after she kills him? Like, I just think that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, Pyro is such a good choice for this team. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about the Cecilia Rays at all. Like I was
I
like,
don't
oh,
know
she can
anything
make.
about any of them, buddy.
Well, I mean, like power wise, because like Frenzy's a muscle mommy, so I know that's her power. And then the dude teleports because they said that we had the whole issue on Granny, and then Pyro we know because he shoots fire.
Yeah, let's find out. What does she do?
Well, she makes energy shields apparently. We found that out in this
She
issue.
is also a capable medical doctor and surgeon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so she's just a doctor, and then she generates the psyoplasmic biofield.
Sounds like a load of bullshit they made up for her.
Sure does, Casey. Sure
Just say
does.
force field, guys. Come
Yeah,
on.
a psyoplasma biofield. Shut the fuck up, nerd.
Stanley's like,
Anyway,
Excelsior, that's perfect. Like, why are you here? You've been retired for
I
years.
created Cecilia Reyes.
Oh, shoot. R.I.P. Stan the man.
Yeah. All right. So, what do
He
you rate this
he
issue?
was credited with making this podcast and all the podcasts. I'm gonna go 7.5. I think that's a good number for it.
Yes, it's a 7 for me. It's fine.
Oh, so public domain by Chip Zdarsky, issue 10. This is a flashback issue.
Yeah.
What'd you think, man?
Well, I realized we got the bombshell at the end of the last issue, but boy, it wasn't the affair that I was expecting. Um, I don't know, man. It was good. Like, it's depressing and it's funny, which is something that Chip excels at. So,
Mhm.
you know, you feel bad for both parties at different times throughout this flashback. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I felt sad and then I laughed a couple of times. And that was the book.
Like, my main problem with it though is they don't do a good enough job of making it seem justified the way that,
Hmm.
like, because then, like, later on, she's like complaining that, about different stuff. It's like, dude, your husband's working 60 hours a week so that he can you know, give you guys a good lifestyle and you have your two kids and they don't go hungry and you're like, you're not spending enough time with me. It's like, because he's working. Like, this is just, that's part of life, lady. And it's like, why don't, I'm gonna go have sex with your editor now. Bye bye. It's like, it would have been better if like he would have been a bit more of a dick. Like he had that one moment where he was like, "Well, you don't have a job, you can quit." Like that was a low blow, but at the same time, it's like he should have started like they should have had him start off like the dickhead instead of her complaining about him working to make it so that they can live a comfortable life.
Yeah. I mean, what's his page rate that he's supporting a wife and two kids and she's not working?
Yeah, right. I mean, he couldn't do that now, but
No.
that
Yeah,
was back when,
also it was 1989, so
yeah.
but no, I still like it. I love Public Domain. It's a
Yep,
great
it's
book.
very good. I'm probably at a nine. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm at a 9 as well. All right, which brings us to, gosh, maybe my favorite cover since they've come back.
It's got like a
Um,
lot of school shooter vibes to me.
I don't know. I like the I don't you don't want to call it negative space. It's just I don't know. The lighting's good. Fiona
Yeah,
Staples is a good artist, but it's Saga number 70 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan.
I'm gonna really quick show my favorite panel of the week.
I was hoping it wasn't that one. I do
So
like how
funny.
he's like, we are dying out here.
It just makes me think of that old barbecue place, Witt's Barbecue. But
I haven't thought of that in a while.
but no, I mean, this is a good issue. Like
hmm
all of them.
Yeah, for sure. I clearly Brian has something massive planned for Squire, and
Yep.
I just can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling he's gonna get called back before his stuff gets done though, you know.
Yep.
Like, as soon as they introduce that aspect of him, like, well, he's not staying there for very long.
Yeah. But I'm sure some fucked up stuff is going to happen there before he does get called back.
Yup. But no,
Yeah,
if
the
I
sorry,
was
go
just gonna
ahead.
say, like, if you guys aren't reading this, you should be. And if you are reading this, you already know how great it is. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like it's regular old saga.
Yeah. The thing and we've talked about this before, there are a couple characters where it's like, oh, clearly we've seen them before, but it's been several years, and I just don't remember until they're like mentioning something about something they did earlier in the
Yeah,
series. So,
it would have been nice to have editor notes, but I'm never going to go back and look at those issues again anyway until I'm just reading the whole
hmm
thing collected. So it doesn't
yeah.
really matter that way. But at the same time, Brian does do a good job of being like, I was at, I don't you remember me from the, jail? And they're like, oh,
hmm
yes, I remember you. And then they explain stuff. It did a really good job of that,
Yeah.
which it's like we don't get that with some of these regular comics. They do just toss an editor's note in there, and then that we're supposed to remember issue 100 of Fantastic Four that happened before we were born, you know?
Yep. I will say though, this has nothing to do with the book, but you can see on the very, very last page of the issue that Snot Girl's coming back soon. And boy, if they do another one issue and then they're like, okay, we'll be back next year, it's gonna pain me, but I'm probably not gonna pick up Snot Girl anymore.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to not be so excited for that book because holy shit, it's a good series.
Yeah. You're just gonna be retired and selling the shop by the time that the series is over.
Probably so. Probably so.
You'll be like, this is my last day here. I'm finishing up Snot Girl and Saga. I'm only 85 years old. I can finally retire.
I don't know how, Brian Lee O'Malley's still going, but he is. But yeah, with Saga, it's probably like a 9.5. It's real good.
Yep, I'm at a 9.5 too. Alrighty. Plastic Man No More, Book 3 by Christopher Cantwell, Alex Linz, and Jacob Edgar, all on the art. I mean, it's same old, same old. It's great. I love uh Jacob Edgar's art because it's like it's so not like he draws all the characters so crisp and nice except for Plastic Man who's just melting away, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And then and then Alex Lynn's art is so good because it's just he does Plastic Man so disgusting, and yeah, there was a death in this issue and it made me very upset.
Yeah, I was looking forward to talking to you about it.
You're like, yeah, one of your favorite characters got killed. Love it.
Uh, yeah, I think this book is a fucking masterpiece, if I'm
Yep.
honest.
No, it's awesome. They do such a good job of like juggling the two different art styles. Story-wise, it's really great. The only downside to this book is Batman, Superman, and the rest, and anyone that's not named Detective Chimp don't feel like themselves.
Hmm.
That's that's really it, though.
Yeah. I have to commend the colorist, Marcelo Maiolo, because dude, these any of these panels with fire, the fire
Hmm.
is like so bright. It's like,
Hmm.
boy, this person really understands lighting in comics. I think it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a damn shame what happens to the character that dies because they're just doing their job and they're doing it very well. Um, and I don't know, man. Plastic Man, he's just such a fuck up. He thinks he's doing good and he's just ruining everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, shit, at this point, they're all in way too deep. Way
Hmm.
too deep. I don't want this series to end. It's so good. Um, yeah, this one's a 10, definitely my pick of the week. Nothing beat this book this week.
Yeah. I'm at another probably 9.95 for it. I really, really liked it. I'm glad you're loving it, man, because like you didn't get it the first week, but then after I gushed, you're like, oh, I guess I'll give it a try. That old knucklehead, he's right every once in a while, and I was this time.
You were, dude. It's a killer. I I hope the creative team goes to C2E2.
Yeah, that'd be great. So I can say, why'd you do that to old Detective Chimp?
All right. Next up, we've got Batgirl #1 by Tate Bromball and Takeshi Miyazawa. Art's fucking cool in this book.
Hmm.
Um, Story. I liked it well enough. I think the whole mommy issues thing, which are understandable, it just went on for a little bit too much, too long, I think. I mean, it was like half the book, and then we finally got to where stuff was happening. I just feel like that could have been trimmed down a little bit for either more fighting sequences or just something else.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, the
I did like it.
yeah, I enjoyed it. The fighting was cool. My main problem, and this is something that's just kind of personal, but with Lady Shiva, I like Lady Shiva. I think she's a super cool character, but she loses a lot of her coolness when she's like in a book like this where she's one of the main characters. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you're doing too much with her to, it takes away some of her coolness. It's like why even though I liked the Deathstroke books that would come out, it's like, yeah, this is a little bit it's ruining some of his coolness. Him being like this, and this is the same thing, but I think this is a really good first issue.
Yeah, yeah, it really is. Um, some of these panels, it's very like Batman and Robin, you know what I mean? It just feels
Hmm.
like Dick and Damian with those yellow backgrounds that oh my gosh, what's the artist's name? Who did that with Grant?
Yeah, I'm blanking.
But anyway, it just feels like that. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm glad that Cassie's got her own book. I'm at least on for the next one for sure. So
Yep.
probably like a 7.5 or an 8.
Yeah, I'm feeling an 8 for it. I thought it was really good, really solid. Like I said, really solid first issue. It's about what you want from a first issue.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so last book, it's JSA #1 by Jeff Lemire with art by Diego Tegua on the art, and lots going on, but it wasn't bad. What would you like? You're the JSA, more, I mean, we're both JSA appreciators, but you're the JSA #1 fan of the group. What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good for the most part. Um, art is solid. I like seeing these characters. Some of these guys we haven't seen for quite a while. One thing I don't like, and it's mostly a me problem, they reference stuff that I didn't read.
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Um, Also, it bums me out because one of my favorite couples in comics is Our Man and Jesse Quick, and they're having a spat just right off the get-go, and I don't like that. And that's
Yeah.
just because I like them and I want them to be happy. Um, but yeah, otherwise, characters are cool. Obsidian's cool. Uh, Jade?
Yep.
Jade is cool. Sand is cool. I like these guys are like, what do you even call them? They're kind of like the JSA second squad, right? They're not the originals. They're not the
Like the
young
Legacy
kids.
Squad.
Yeah, they're like the legacy squad. Um, and whenever when I started reading JSA, it was these characters. So I like seeing them a whole bunch. And I don't mind that they're being mixed in with the new characters. It's a good balance of the teams. I just want a little bit more. Uh, and by that, I just mean I'm ready for issue number 2. So,
Yeah, I want to know why so we got like, and this is just some of those things where maybe it happened in Jeff Johns' run, but all these characters are here and there's no mention of Dr. Midnight, and then there's the new Dr. Midnight, but Dr. Midnight's popped up in other books recently, so did something happen to him recently? And that's why the girl Dr. Midnight's taken over, or what's going on there?
I hope that Jeff will tell us
Yeah.
because I okay, I'd rather the other Dr. Midnight be here because I like his character a lot. There's nothing wrong with this one. I just like the other character. So like,
I I just think it'd be neat too to see, because it seems like she's very much in over her head as a character, which I think is interesting. And then having the original Doctor, or not the original, it'd be the second Doctor Midnight as a guiding hand
mhm.
for her would be really good.
Yeah, she needs that for sure. And also, having both of them is only going to be better for everybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um, so I don't know. Maybe he'll show up later. Maybe
Yeah.
they'll realize she's in over her head and they'll bring in the other one.
Maybe they'll bring in the first one. Maybe the second one's dead and they'll bring in the first one. He'll be like an old man with shaky hands, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'll show you after I hand you a butterscotch." And she's like, I'm allergic.
And this is my owl.
It's fucking stuffed. It's like it died back in the war, but and she's like, which war?
Uh, Also, Obsidian's powers are cool. I just want to throw that
Yeah,
out there.
I really don't understand them, but they're neat.
Hmm.
And then I'm also like, is that first? Did we see the real Obsidian at all in this book, or what's going on there?
Yeah. And also, I don't think that both Hawks need to be in this book, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. There's a lot of like, honestly, this is gonna be like a tough book for Jeff to write and get all the characters enough time. But it's also like they don't have their own book. They kind of like it just seems like anymore they're like we're destined to be together. We have to be together at all times type of thing. So it's like you can't really have one without the other at this point with the way that sounds like they're doing stuff with them.
Yeah, it's just she very much just looks like Hawk Girl and not Hawk Woman, you
I
know?
gotcha. I really don't. All the hawk masks look the same to me.
No, I get that. It's just she looks like Shaira's like from Justice League Unlimited.
I gotcha.
And
I don't.
I don't think she's supposed to be. I think she's supposed to be his lover.
Yeah,
I don't know. We just need some clarification. But
I
like
don't
that
like her
that
wings.
right. I I think that's OP Justice League Hawk Girl. Because Hawkwoman didn't look like that in oh my gosh, what's his name?
Phil, oh, not Philip K. Daniel Warren Johnson,
No.
right? No, not Daniel Warren. Um, what is his name now?
What's his name?
We love
We
him.
fucking talked to him.
Yeah, he and he had no interest in talking to me. And then as soon as you brought up Hawkman, he was like,
Robert Venditti.
"Yes." He's like, "Yes, new best friend."
Yes. Anyway, she doesn't look like she did in Robert Venditti's run, so I don't know. I don't know who it's supposed to be. I'm on a tangent, don't need to be. It was still cool, and then at the end, we get to see the Injustice Society with some pretty cool characters, including uh cool evil Sandman from the Wesley Dodd series. So I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure who all the others are. I see Gentleman Ghost, I see Shadow Thief, Grundy, Cobra, not 100, maybe Mordrew, but I'm not
The
sure on
dude
some
sitting
of the
next to
others.
Gentleman Ghost was the bad guy in the Jay Garrick series.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know who the pink
Oh,
lady
Dr.
is.
Alchemy? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I don't know who the Pink Lady is either. So, but yeah, all of that is to say I enjoyed it a lot. There was just some minor things as a JSA fanboy, and also shame on me for not reading whatever came before this.
I mean, you still got like what, two more issues before that series is over.
Yeah, right. So what are you rating it?
I'm at probably a 7.
I
I
think
was a
I'm at
little
an
let
8.
down, but I liked it.
Yeah. It was just a lot in one issue. Hopefully the
Yeah.
next one's a little better.
So what are you excited about though, man?
Um, why don't you go first?
Okie dokie. G.I. Joe for sure. I've been loving all of those that we've been getting. I'll say Green Lantern. I like some old Green Lantern boy. And then mm, I'm gonna say Psylocke because I love the writer that does the Psylocke book. So I'm like, I'm gonna give this
Who
a
is it?
go. Ah, the girl that did the Silk books that we liked.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, I gotta give that a try because she's very talented. And I even
Yeah.
said on here, I don't want to be a liar. I was like, I'll give her books a try.
Mm-hmm. I'll say Batman and Robin, Batman Dark Age, and DC versus Vampires.
Damn, Batman almost got the clean sweep.
Almost.
All right, so I saw a CBR article where they had the worst costumes of all time. So I was like, let's just do that. Let's do the worst and best costumes for comic books.
Sure. I've got pictures here, so I
All
will
right, so
share my screen.
when I tell mine, I'll just have you type in because you got fast fingers.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Here we go. Share. So my first for I'm gonna do my worst and end on the best.
All right.
First worst is the original Morph.
Ooh, that is bad.
It's just what the fuck's going on with the head?
That's about as bad as the voice acting for the original Morph in the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah. There's really no redeeming qualities about it.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want me to type in?
Okay, so for my worst, I'll start with this, and I'm because like for me, I was like I could do all just bad that I know about, but I'm like I want to do the bad, but then also like these characters all have really great regular costumes, so we're just going back and forth that way. So 90s Thor, and you know which one I'm
Mm.
talking about, and then I also just to add to that 90s Sif to go along with it.
Yeah, Sif. We've talked about that one
Yeah,
before.
so that one's all sorts of rough. It's just kind of way too strappy. I think the big reason why they went this route is because Thor came back to life, and we had Masterson, which I'm going to get into next for my best, which I think it's the best Thor costume up until like here recently with
This
Eric
isn't
Ma
too bad.
He's still wearing a crop top.
Yeah, but that was for the time, baby.
But so like the Thor Eric Masterson Thor costume, it's basically what Hemsworth was wearing in the first movie. Yeah,
Hmm.
you get Thor with the beard and then showing off them guns. Before that, he never had a beard until Masterson. And then after that, like in the current books, they're like, yeah, the beards on the Viking, believe it or not, look
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so Masterson's Thor was on my best costume.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because yeah, I'm hopping back and forth between best and worst, so you can. I mean, his Thunder Strike is there too, because that's still like the coolest damn 90s costume. But look at that. That's like the best of the Thor costumes of the early. You can make arguments that, like some of the later stuff, like where he's got the chainmail arm, like arms and stuff.
Oh, one of his in particular is on my best for sure.
Okay. And
But
yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. Okay, next, Wonder Man. It's just it's just not good. Whether you like Wonder Man or not, bright green and red, it's just not good. And this is even worse.
Yeah. Though he had one where it was just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still kind of lame, but it was like a black shirt,
Hmm.
sunglasses, looks cool. Not great, but looks cool.
Yeah. And like when they updated the green to black and like left the rest red,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, that's better. But
Yeah.
yeah, just not good.
All right. So my next one, I don't know if you've seen this one before, but it was in Jason Aaron's Avengers. It's the Phoenix She-Hulk. Did you see this?
Yeah, I'm sure that I have.
Okay, so you gotta go with like no, go that one's a fan thing because they know how to design things better. Go to the right, two more. That one's gonna be the one that one. That's like
You see this written out?
yes. Because it's like it seems like it's just drawn by someone that will tell a woman that's like, don't lift weights, you'll get too bulky and look like a man. Because it's literally just the Hulk with a ponytail. It's one of the worst She-Hulk designs, and so then like I was like, well, let's just think about a good She-Hulk design. And I'm like anything in Rainbow Rowell's Hulk or she in her She-Hulk run because you know that's all good. This is just like the worst. possible design I think I've ever fucking seen for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
It's like, how could you miss that bad?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next up for me, Fate. Not Dr.
Yeah,
Fate, just Fate.
yeah,
Uh, all of it sucks. It's terrible. It's terrible all around. It's tough to
yeah.
find. Yeah, I mean, good Lord.
That's really bad. Like that's impressively bad. There's some where I'm like, I don't mind, I don't hate it, but I'm also not as much of a Doctor Fate fan as you are, where I don't hate it as much. Like if it wasn't a Doctor Fate, adjacent thing, I would be way more okay with it. But that there is one of the worst fucking designs
This
I've
looks
ever
like
seen.
this looks like Starman's artist.
It might be, but holy shit, that design's bad. Like that would be a good design for a bad guy in Starman.
Yeah.
But to be the good guy in your book, that's really like I don't hate that as a 90s character that has no connection to fate. That would just be like a shitty book that would be in the 25-cent rack at your shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I hate it. Anyway, let's do your next one.
Okay, so my next one, Jay Garrick's New 52 design.
Uh,
It's so funny because I remember reading like James Robinson or hearing James Robinson talk about how upset he was because he loves the Jay Garrick design, the original one, because it's one of the best designs. And then that's what we got. And then he worked really hard to bring it back to like closer to the original, the helmet and stuff. And then they're like, let's do away with it and go back to another shitty fucking design.
yep, it's bad.
Yeah. And then for my good ones, I just put like I said, regular old Jay Garrick because it's just such a simple costume that's perfect.
Oh, that's great right there.
Yeah.
Yep, totally agree with that one. All right, Casey, don't hate me. Jack of Hearts.
No, I get it.
Like, is it fun? Sure, but it's a terrible fucking costume.
It's pretty damn ugly. I love it, but it's pretty damn ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen how I dress, so you get why I like it.
No, it's okay to like it. At least you recognize that it is bad.
I mean, it looks like something that would be, on a rug. That would like a really ugly
Hmm.
rug at someone's house.
Yeah, I feel bad for the artist that had to draw this every
Man,
fucking
that
panel of every
had to
issue.
have sucked. All right. So next up, Tim Drake's Drake costume. So Tim Drake, for like all of his other Robin costumes, great. His Drake costume, fucking look, it's just shit. It's like let's just put it in, put brown, just make it brown, which is just the worst unless you're a rock-based character. And then it's like Tim Drake hadn't had a bad costume up to this point.
Yep, I
He
agree.
was he he was the first Robin to
Well,
be cool.
well, the new 52 Teen Titans
I
costume is
didn't
pretty bad.
see I didn't hate it personally. I know some people don't like it, but I still think that one's I liked it for what it was because it was like it was finally he had a costume that was like his own.
Hmm.
And then like this one is just so dumb and terrible. I also want to know who the heck is Batwoman? That looks like it's supposed to be what's her name?
Stephanie?
Yeah, and then the way that the art's doing her hair is not good for anybody. But yeah, so that's really bad. And then just any of his other costumes, I'm a fan of. I think they're all good. So yeah, and like I said, he was the first cool looking Robin.
Damn, I can't even find. Oh, it is Stephanie Brown.
Okay,
Yikes. Terrible.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, sorry. What did you want to do next?
You can. I mean, people know what Tim Drake's Robin looks like because that's what
Yeah,
you think of when you think of Robin.
true.
It's like you don't think of Dick Grayson in his little booty shorts, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
Do you think Batman was disappointed when Tim showed up with pants? He's like, "Why are you wearing pants? Where's the booty shorts?"
Dude, so this should be an honorable mention for me, but the Red Robin costume,
For good, right?
yeah, for good.
Okay, okay.
I
I was like,
I think that's so good.
it is awesome.
I love it more than any Robin costume. Just good stuff.
Yep. I
All right.
think, and I think that one looks better than the Alex Ross Dick Grayson version.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Also, that I just love this series. This series in general is really good
Hmm.
stuff. Okay. Rick Tyler, Our Man. I think that's so fucking cool.
Yep.
His dad had the yellow and black reverse is a little too bright, but this one I think is immaculate. I think the hood cowl is cool. He's just ripped out of his mind. Everything about it's cool. Next, Dr. Fate. Pretty much any of them, really.
Yeah.
Um, but this is from the like Countdown to Mystery era, which I thought always looked really fucking cool. What do we got here? Yes, this one is the best Thor costume in my opinion.
Yeah. Needs
It's
a beard.
he does. He's kind of got some stubble.
Yeah.
That's the Marvel Now Jason Aaron Assad Ribic God Butcher costume. But I love the heavy Viking theme with the leather. It's just cool.
Hmm.
Um, maybe that was everything. Yeah. So I guess maybe Red Robin was my
Okay.
fourth one.
I do have an honorable mention for really bad. So, Steve Rogers' Nomad costume. And while you're pulling that up, I'm gonna really quick show you a cover for the '90s Nomad comic, which is just the worst fucking cover I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
It's not good. What
for
did you
since
want me to
it's
search?
just a Steve Rogers' Nomad because his costume is rough as all hell. Like that
That's
one is better, which is that's terrible, but that one's better than the open slit one.
yeah. It's just so fucking 90s, dude.
Well, the '90s one is at least better to me. Yeah, there's that cover for those that weren't able to see it. She's mine. Um, but the '90s one is at least better because it doesn't have the big opening, the terrible mask, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Let us know though down below, guys, your favorite and least favorite costumes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fun one to talk about, and
Yeah.
everyone always has different answers. So,
And did you are there any that are on ours like we really like these ones that you're like you like that shitty thing? And then you're like, "Oh no. Phoenix She-Hulk is peak She-Hulk."
I
That's not a
love
muscle
Wonder
mommy.
Man.
That's not a muscle mommy. That's a muscle mother.
Goodness.
But yeah, let us know. Are there any costumes that you're like, I can't believe you guys didn't mention Batman. He looks stupid. He doesn't look like a bat at all.
Well, one that I think is on a lot of people's lists would be Jean Paul's Batman costume.
On the favorites, right? Because it's so cool looking.
I like it.
I do too.
Actually, I could have just said Azrael, like his own
Yeah.
costume, the two flaming swords, the medieval armor, dope as
Yeah.
hell.
Did you like the red Azrael
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
Yeah. That one's probably my least favorite of the three. That if there's
yeah,
any other ones out there, I don't know.
yeah.
Um, oh, I had another one that I was gonna. Oh man, I don't know. I had another one that I was like, oh yeah, this would be a an interesting one to talk about, but no, I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, like I said, let us know down below and let us know what comics you read this week or whatever.
Hmm.
Where you got anything, man?
Nope. Take
No?
us home, buddy.
All right. We'd love to stay in chat, but we gotta see what the Intersect is doing and making sure that, he doesn't touch butts with Sarah, I'm guessing. Bye, guys.
Later.